Ever wondered how these giant companies are really built? It's not just about having a great idea. It's about the hidden architecture underneath it all. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a deep dive into that very structure.
Right? I mean, you look at some of these huge corporations, and it feels like they have their hands in everything. You gotta wonder, how do they do it? How do they manage all that risk, all those different projects, all at the same time, without the whole thing just collapsing? Well, the secret isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a very deliberate and really powerful corporate structure.
Okay, so every great business empire has to start somewhere. It starts with a single crucial foundation. This is the part of the company that actually does the thing. The part that interacts with the world and actually makes the money. Let's call it the core business, or if we want to get formal, the operating company. Think of this as the engine room. The operating company is the part of the business you probably know and interact with. It's the one hiring employees, building the product, talking to customers. It's the public-facing workhorse, which also means it's where all the day-to-day risk and all the legal liability lives. That's a key point. So let's just imagine we're starting a business. In year one, our entire empire is just this one thing, our operating company. It's our one little shop, our one factory, our one app. It's simple, it's direct, it's totally focused. But, as we all know, success brings complexity. So, let's say our business is a hit. We're growing like crazy, and with all that growth comes amazing new opportunities and, of course, brand new risks. It's time to get strategic. It's time to create a kind of command center that can oversee the entire empire from a safe distance. And this is where the holding company comes in. Now, the holding company has a totally different job. It doesn't make anything, it doesn't sell anything. Its one and only purpose is to own other companies. You can think of it like a general sitting on a hill, overlooking the whole battlefield, but not actually fighting in the trenches. The setup also happens to have some pretty significant tax advantages, and it makes it way easier to sell off parts of the business without blowing up the whole operation. And this creates a really critical separation. You've got the doer, that's the operating company, right down there in the thick of it, and then you've got the owner, the holding company, up top. The owner manages the assets and shields the leadership from the liabilities of any one operation. That separation of duties, that's the secret sauce right there. So now, the new structure looks something like this. The holding company sits on top, and it owns and controls the operating company below it. What this means is that all the day-to-day risk is contained in that one single entity, while all the strategic control, the big picture thinking, rests safely at the top. Okay, our little empire is growing up, but what about its crown jewels? The brand name, that secret formula, the really valuable patents. If our operating company gets sued or goes into debt, are all those priceless treasures at risk? This is where our next player comes into the game, the corporate treasure chest. An asset company is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, a legal vault. Its only job is to own and protect the company's most valuable stuff. By putting the assets here, they're shielded from any lawsuits or financial trouble that might hit the operating company. And get this, it can even create a whole new revenue stream, because the operating part of the business will often pay a licensing fee to use the brand name from this protected vault. Pretty smart, right? So what kind of treasures are we actually talking about here? Well, we're talking about the things that give the company its real lasting value. We're talking about intellectual property, the brand name that people trust, the logos they recognize. We're talking about patents and trademarks that protect its innovations. It could even be valuable real estate or supercritical expensive machinery. Basically, these are the things you absolutely cannot afford to lose. So our structure evolves once again. The holding company now owns two different subsidiaries. You've got the operating company that's doing all the daily work, and you've got the asset company that's securely holding on to the valuables. Now, the operating company can legally license, say, the brand name from the asset company. This creates a really clean, protected system that insulates those core assets from any operational screw-ups. All right, time for a new challenge. Our empire wants to launch a really risky, but maybe revolutionary new project. Maybe it's a joint venture with another company or a massive real estate deal. How do you do that without putting the whole empire you've built on the line? Simple. You deploy a special ops team. This is called a special purpose vehicle, or SPV for short. An SPV is a company created for one mission and one mission only. It's a completely firewalled entity with its own assets, its own liabilities. The beauty of this is, if the mission fails, if the project goes bust, the failure is totally contained inside that SPV. The mothership, our main empire, just sails on completely unharmed.
And this is also a huge draw for investors who might only want to fund that one specific venture.
And companies use these for all sorts of high-stakes missions. They might spin up an SPV to raise the financing for a huge new factory, or to bundle up assets to sell them off, or to test out a wild new product idea. It's also perfect for partnering with another company without getting your core businesses all tangled up.
And just like that, our once simple little business has become a true empire. The holding company now presides over this diverse portfolio. You've got the steady worker, the secure vault, and now the high-risk, high-reward special mission. Each piece is a specific tool for a specific job, all designed to maximize opportunity while minimizing risk.
So let's just pull back for a second and look at the whole picture. We've gone from a single, simple shop to this really sophisticated corporate web. Each piece has a distinct purpose, and when they work together, they allow a company to be incredibly ambitious and incredibly resilient at the same time.
So if you want to remember the roles in their simplest form, just think of it like this. The holding company, that's the owner. The operating company is the worker. The asset company is the vault. And the SPV, that's the mission. It's a really clear division of labor that creates a powerful and protected system. So here it is, your final takeaway, a little cheat sheet. You've got the workshop, the headquarters, the treasure chest, and the special ops team. Honestly, these 4 analogies give you a really powerful mental model you can use to pretty much understand the structure of any large corporation out there. And that brings us to the most crucial point of all. This complex web of companies. It's not just boring legal paperwork. It is the strategy. It's how a company manages immense risk, protects its crown jewels, and goes after bold new ideas all at the same time. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. This level of complexity is no doubt a powerful tool for growth and protection, but it can also make a company incredibly difficult to understand from the outside. So where do we draw the line between just brilliant strategy and a level of complexity that feels, well, deliberately obscure? Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for tuning in.